Well, I'm gonna drag you out. Thanks for calling
All
in,
right,
Vale.
fair.
I'm gonna drag
Yeah.
Rage on in. Okay.
I don't like in the wrong for mentioning the fact that Aiden had that tweet on his account. Like if he posts something publicly, I'm within my right to criticize that. I think anyone who argues otherwise is being completely
Well,
malicious in the
they're
situation.
just maintaining the same position that Aiden is, which is that it's wildly different context, and it's one person who there was no pattern of abuse established, which he has made it very clear that he believes that that is a criteria for calling it suicide baiting. And then in the other case, it's somebody where a pattern of abuse was clearly established, or at least established beyond a reasonable doubt, where there's just there's many things that you can point to where they're leveraging their own safety for personal gain, or social gain essentially. Nerdy John, you're on. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. So Harley,
Yeah.
and you want to play the semantics game with like an example was, oh well,
I didn't really want to.
if
Yeah,
Aiden was in a room with pedophiles and they agree with him that pedophilia isn't bad, but like let's use Ethan Ralph as an example. The court of public opinion is very much not on his side, but that doesn't mean Ethan's right about anything.
really, but I think it goes the other way as well. The court of public opinion couldn't like if the court of public opinion wasn't on Johnny Depp's side, that doesn't mean Johnny Depp is necessarily wrong in what he said or what he did.
Well, that's
Right?
different in the case of a
think
legal matter.
I think they're two mutually exclusive things. I think someone can have the court of public opinion on their side and be wrong, and I think someone can have the court of public opinion on their side and be right. I just think that Aiden saying it as like a blanket statement was wrong.
And also, too, I wanted to establish this, including with Aiden, no one in this call was an expert on mental health, correct?
Yeah,
No.
totally.
So, you saying that a 4-hour psych evaluation isn't good enough is just based on personal opinion rather than a professional.
That's just based on stuff like the Attica situation because it's been proven wrong in previous situations.
But
Well,
do you
I've
agree
also-
that
I mean,
everyone
I've
is a
also-
case-by-case basis, though?
Totally. But also, I think that if there is room for such grave error that like led to people like taking their life, I think if that's a possibility, I don't want to jump to conclusions there.
Right, but like, I'm sorry, then like this makes this entire debate null and void because like
that's why I didn't want to debate it.
What makes like because like your base the argument you two are having essentially comes down to, well, we don't know either way, like, but like
Exactly, and that's why I think Aiden shouldn't say something so extreme. You
Schrodinger's
shouldn't.
suicide.
If
Sorry.
if Aiden if it goes neither way, if I don't know if Clancy is mentally, if I don't know if Clancy's going to kill themselves and Aiden doesn't know if Clancy's going to not, I think it's irresponsible for Aiden to post that they aren't. That they're suicide baiting. I think that's irresponsible. But like I'm seeing people in the chat, and people in the chat are like completely misrepresenting this. I'm seeing like you're in the wrong to bring this up without him here, and you waited for him to leave to do it. Like no, I didn't. I was completely like I didn't get the chance to move to this subject because we kept going in circles. I'm totally happy to discuss this with Aiden. I would prefer in private because this is going to go on forever otherwise, and it's obvious that what this is a fundamental disagreement in me and Aiden's like morals, and I know that it's not going to go anywhere, which is why I said to Aiden on Twitter that like this was pointless and we should discuss this in private. And then I tried to discuss this in private on Discord with Aiden, and then Aiden started posting my tweets to Twitter. Posting my DMs to Twitter, which made it go back into public drama again. And that's what I think is pointless about this entire situation. I didn't want to fucking go back and forth with Aiden. I think that he's done a lot of things in the situation disingenuously, and I don't agree with that. And then I see people in the chat that are like, I'm going through the chat. I'm not going to debate someone's dead friend. This is the person I was just previously discussing with. He says, I'm not going to debate someone's dead friend. I know nothing about LOL. I got completely blindsided there. I mean, I wasn't trying to really debate with him. I was just trying to make my point. But like, I didn't really blindside him. Like, I think everyone's taking this so fucking maliciously. Like, I'm addressing a tweet Aiden made publicly on a public platform. If Aiden wants to discuss this with me, he can, but instead he fucking left the call, which like is fine, but you can't have it both ways. I can't not make a point because Aiden isn't here. I think that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, maybe children, which is what you and Aiden are, much like pedophilia, shouldn't be talking about the seriousness of
Children, Aiden's
someone's
younger than me,
mental
though.
health issues.
Aiden, I mean, I'm 18 in 2 months, so
Uh-huh.
I'm almost not a child.
Mhm.
Then I can be cancelled for grooming.
Yeah, I mean,
But I mean, this person in the chat. So you're using a dead person for a point? No, my antithesis of this tweet I used from Aiden isn't about the fact his friend killed themselves. My point is that Aiden said that everyone accused him of baiting, and that because of that, Aiden takes every threat seriously, and to call something like that bait is irresponsible and could risk lives. That is what I'm using as the point. If this tweet didn't have his friend kill himself, it was just everyone accuses people who are suicidal of baiting. I take that every threat seriously. To call it bait is irresponsible and could risk lives. I would use this point the exact same way, because it's completely, regardless of whether his friend is part of the context, that doesn't matter to my point. I'm not trying to use that for a fucking point, but people in chat are gonna twist this because it's fucking.
Well, what's happening here is ultimately you both are arguing semantics, because you both agree
Yeah.
it's emotional manipulation, but you're just disagreeing on the definition. And
I think
what
you
is this?
fundamentally, disagree on the definition of what constitutes suicide baiting, and that's like the crux of a lot of these issues, is that you both have entirely different criterias. And so most of the time, these criteria are not going to be met to a satisfactory level. Oh shit! Sorry.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But
That's
when
like
he,
my
but like
entire
that's
point.
that. Well, but that's the thing is like to compare, when you said there was a point where you were bringing up what Clancy said about or what you're saying is you're giving a hypothetical. You're saying, what if Clancy takes their own life after the stream or whatever, and would that be suicide baiting? And then that was all you provided, and then Aiden said no, and you were like, well, and you like pointed that out as
Aiden said
some
no
sort of.
because they went through with it.
No. Aiden said no because he doesn't see that. What I gathered is that Aiden said no because there was no leverage that is gained from like doing it. This isn't baiting. This isn't them like saying that they're going to do it. And you never said that. You just said, what if they kill themselves? Well, I mean,
Yeah,
like
but the
that's just
leverage
them
is
doing the
regardless of the
act by
claim.
itself. That's just suicide. There's no baiting. Like the baiting part involves sort of a conversation, or involves a social situation where you're trying to gain something out of it. And that's according to Aiden. So it
Well, I
wouldn't
mean,
fit
Aiden
his
didn't say that.
criteria,
Aiden said he
and it
agreed with
wouldn't
my
fit your
definition.
criteria, but for
But
different reasons.
What I'm trying to say is, I knew this debate was going to go in circles. That's why I told Aiden I wanted to talk this out in private, because we've both got fundamental disagreements on what suicide baiting is and what Clancy's done, which is why I didn't want to debate it. But then Aiden fucking tries to get an orgy stream, and then Aiden goes on your stream. So I'm like, fuck it, whatever, we can discuss it. I knew it was going to go in fucking circles, but who cares at this point? I think this is a fundamental disagreement. I think Aiden is recklessly irresponsible to use his public platform, where he has thousands of followers, to claim someone is suicide baiting if he doesn't know so. And that's basically it. That's my entire disposition. I think you can dislike Clancy. I think you can call them out for using their mental health in manipulatory ways. I think that's perfectly acceptable. But I don't think Aiden's tweet was acceptable, and I don't think Aiden being so flip floppy on this situation is acceptable. And I see people in chat that are like, the reason Aiden didn't the reason Aiden said that, like, he takes all threats of baiting serious, all everyone. Sorry. This person in chat says, because his friend had no history of baiting, in regards to Aiden saying that their friend died. I really fucking hate
Is it
that, so I don't really
possible
get to
that at first Aiden took Clancy's other attempts very seriously, and then after realizing that the person would continuously do this, just got tired of it?
I still think that goes against what Aiden's presented here. He says, after that, I take every threat seriously. And this person in chat says because his friend had no history of baiting, but Aiden's tweet literally says everyone had previously accused him of baiting constantly. I don't think people just accuse him of baiting unless there was some kind of bait there. That doesn't happen. Like, there has to be some kind of reason they would think that, right? So there is, to those people, some kind of history as to why they would think they were baiting. And, like, if Aiden acknowledges in this situation, when people subjectively thought they were suicide baiting and they then killed themselves, that is something that could happen I think it's irresponsible for Aiden to do that in the exact same situation when he can't prove otherwise. I think it's hypocritical. I think this tweet is a completely in contrast to everything he's presented thus far along this debate. Yet despite that, when I was talking to Aiden says he still completely agrees with this tweet and it goes against nothing that he said publicly. I think that's completely untrue.
I just want to read out what Psych Draws said. Again, Clancy has threatened their life at every inconvenience because they've seen that it works over and over again. It's baiting to emotionally trap people and then be totally okay afterwards.
I think it's emotionally manipulative, and I agree. I agree with what Psych's saying, that they are using it at every inconvenience because it's worked. I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that's a mutually exclusive thing to them being suicide baiting. I think they're two different things. And this is where it comes back to it goes back to semantics on words, and I think at that point it's fucking pointless. Holly argues off of emotion only. I'm arguing off of logic. I'm arguing off of what I believe is reasonably appropriate to do with your social media platform. I don't think it is reasonably appropriate to make posts saying someone is suicide debating if you don't know that.
But by your own tweet, Harley's social media is dead, so no one's going to see that deplorable statement.
Based.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a point there.
I just think it's.
I think upload more videos. If you're watching this, you're probably watching the VOD back. Upload more fucking videos.
Dude, I don't know why he doesn't fucking upload.
They are good.
There's a difference between calling a suicide person a beta and calling someone who leverages suicide against their friends over an extended period of time a beta. Okay, but we're going off of different types of suicide baiting at that point, and we're going off of then we're fighting definitions, and I don't think, because Aiden agreed with my definition of suicide baiting, I don't think that was what Aiden meant. And Aiden's literally said that he just believes they're lying about being suicidal. He said that in the stream. So I think that's completely irresponsible. And then Aiden, at the same time, during this stream, he's saying stuff like he believes that if they're going to a therapist and he believes that they're mentally unwell and at risk to themselves, he believes it's still perfectly acceptable for him to call them a suicide beta. I think at that point, we have hit a wall where we are just never going to agree. I don't care if anyone else agrees with me on this. I just think it was irresponsible for Aiden to use his public platform with thousands of followers to spread such a extreme claim about someone with no evidence to prove it.
I think the inherent problem comes from the biases that both you and Aiden have, because obviously you're close friends with Hopeless Peaches. You know about her struggles. But at the flip side, Aiden has known Clancy for a significant amount of time and is just tired of their behavior.
I mean, I've known Clancy for a long time. I've seen Clancy do this before. I've known Clancy for the past year. I don't like Clancy. I didn't get along with Clancy. I have no reason to defend Clancy, and as I've said, I completely believe they're in the wrong in this situation, 100%. But that doesn't mean that I don't think you can argue that Aiden is completely in the wrong for claiming they're a suicide beta based off of fucking no evidence. And then Aiden's tweet where he's Aiden's tweet where he said, fuck, sorry, I'm finding it again. I do not care about suicide baiting teenagers online who use their life as a bargaining chip to get what they want. My new policy at this point is to tell everyone to do it. I'm done playing into this, lol. I don't read this as in any way a joke. I know Aiden said it's a joke or whatever, but then he also got on me for saying that my Social Blade tweet was a joke. So
the inherent
I think
problem
I can perfectly
is
say
tweeting. The inherent problem tweeting out a joke is unless you know the person, you can't detect the irony or sarcasm.
You can't read the tone here. But also, I feel like the way this reads to most people who saw this, didn't think it was a joke. Nicholas Dury replies, emotional blackmailing is a big yikes. This person says it's so pathetic. I don't know why I thought they could have a second chance or a third chance. It's literally absurd to me how you can do that to someone and actively think you're the victim and that you're not a terrible person for using your safety. How do you know they're suicide betas though? Is it really okay to take the gamble and they can just do this and jump away? And then this fan replies, one that doesn't stop anything, two is about weird Discord spag that was suicide baiting. The people in, as far as I've seen from everyone who saw this post, they believed that Aiden was serious about this, that he was just going to tell people like Clancy if he had to. Not in every situation, obviously. I think it's completely insane to be in every situation where Aiden sees someone who's saying they're suicidal, he's going to tell them to kill themselves. But I genuinely don't think it's outside of Aiden's character to tell someone who he subjectively thinks is suicide baiting to tell them that to kill themselves. And I think that how most people read this and how I read this was quite serious. I think that
it's a hell of a character judgment. But,
yeah.
I mean
that's. I'm literally just. This is my own opinion, right? You don't have to agree. That's totally fine. Just subjectively, in my opinion, this is how I take this tweet. And I think this tweet was like, obviously there's hyperbole here, obviously there's exaggeration here, because there always is, right? Everyone plays a tweet up for the fucking likes and whatever. Like I do it as well. Everyone does it, right? I do still think there is some truth behind the statement, and I don't think Aiden was entirely joking when he said it. I do think that it's within Aiden's character, as he said on this stream actually, to tell people to just kill themselves. And I believe that if Clancy saw this tweet, they would take it as him telling them to kill themselves, just based off of what you would presume he meant by this fucking tweet if you're in a mentally unstable headspace. I just literally my entire disposition, and I don't get how this is such a hot take, is that I think it is recklessly irresponsible to make posts on social media without sufficient evidence saying someone is suicide baiting, and that and make a tweet that people can infer that you want them to kill themselves of it, or that you're going to say to them to kill themselves. I think it is reckless to make a tweet like that on a platform, especially because this tweet has it's seen 110 people's likes. This tweet probably has, if you could see the analytics, thousands of impressions. That's an impact on someone's life. That's a major impact to make a claim like that. If I tweeted that Aiden was a suicide baiter, that would have a major impact. It would probably get around the same amount of likes and around the same amount of impressions, and that would have a fucking major impact on his life.
Of course, but like the response to that is turn off the phone and the computer.
Well,
it's not that easy though. That's going I think people who are suicidal, they aren't just gonna turn off their fucking phone or whatever. Like if you're going through a panic attack, like if you've ever experienced a panic attack, there is fucking nothing like a panic attack. Like you're glued to your phone, reading fucking everything posted.
To be fair, yeah, like what seems sane to you when somebody is mentally ill or in this like situation where they are like having a panic attack or they're having a mental breakdown or they're having some sort of like bipolar like depressive episode. Obviously what you're saying there seems like, oh yeah, why don't I just fix everything? That's what you're saying. Why don't I just like fix every single problem that I have? And why don't I just like fucking be Superman? Like
it's like, yeah, mentally ill people do not act in reasonable and logical ways, right? Yeah. Like I think we can all accept that. And I see people in the chat that are like, no, it's easy to turn off your phone. If you hold that view, you're fucking stupid and understand nothing about mental health.
Well, I mean, all you have to do is just like hold the power button.
Yeah, right.
I think if you genuinely believe that like this sort of thing goes away if you turn off your phone and it's that fucking easy, I think you're fucking stupid and don't understand the bare minimum about mental health issues. It does not work that way, dude. Like you cannot just fucking like, oh, I'm just gonna turn off my phone and then all of a sudden like my problem's resolved. Like I'm not fucking, my anxiety's gone, I'm not having a panic attack anymore, I'm just happy again. Like that's fucking completely illogical. And anyone who holds that fucking view is brain dead, genuinely brain dead.
Yeah, so let me clarify. What I'm saying is like if a good chunk of if what's causing you an anxiety in that moment, it is best for you to try to get away from that anxiety.
Oh yeah, it's best for you to. It's best for you to, but people won't.
Right.
Like
right.
It's so much easier to say, oh, it's just easy, just turn off your phone until you're in that situation. Like when I had my drama with Prismate Luke, we're going back almost 2 years now. I had 8k subs, he had 130k. He made 3 videos on me. The first one got 120,000 views. My average video would average like 600 to 700 views at the time. He said I was a plethora of claims, right? He said that I would, what's a good one? He said I scammed artists, I was a lolicon. He spread a lot of claims about me that simply didn't have proof to reinforce them. And like, obviously I resolved that situation because I made a 1 hour video where I went over everything and I like disproved all of his claims, showed all the conversation for our DMs. But I know for sure in that situation, dude, I had a panic attack over that shit. I could barely breathe. Because it was fucking terrifying. It's terrifying to have like that many people send you hate out of nowhere. Like especially when you're like a smaller platform being like piled upon by a fucking huge, like, or a much larger figure. Like it's a really scary experience. And it's not just as easy as just turning off your phone because it doesn't disappear. Your life online, like, is severely detrimented, and I think people's online lives are basically the same thing as their human lives at this point because people spend most of their time online anyway. I think it's those situations are fucking genuinely terrifying when you get in a situation where you are like dealing with like an overwhelming amount of backlash and there's no way you can like definitively prove something wrong. Like you can't prove a negative. Like Clancy can't prove they're like suicidal, for example. You can't prove that outright. Like even if you're like diagnosed, there's margin of error there to diagnosis. You can't prove that like conclusively. And like it's not easy to just like when you're going through like a panic attack or something, it's not easy to just fucking turn off the phone and like it all disappears and like you're fine and the fucking hate disappears.
Mm.
But like
Well, in this instance, Clancy's parents need to get involved. And then
totally, yeah.
also too, I think what Clancy needs to do is just leave the community in general. Not like obviously like when they're in a better state, I guess come back online. But like just leave the community in general because I still see them interacting with community members. What Clancy could do to better their mental health is inform their parents, have parents take the appropriate action, and then eventually, if/when they come back online, just interact with the people who are really their friends.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree that Clancy should withdraw themselves from fucking everything. I mean, they very obviously weren't in a good mental state when they were stalking John Swan for months. Like, I don't for a second think it's best for Clancy if they remain in this community.
But I'm
But
gonna.
that also doesn't mean I think it's acceptable for people to make claims like suicide beta with no actual evidence. I think it's irresponsible.
I'm gonna mute because
Especially not a game.
Mike's been in here for a while, and I want to give him the chance to
Okay.
talk.
Hey,
Hello,
can you
Mike.
guys hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
you're the guy who does the funny
All right.
covers, right?
Yeah, I do the covers. I just want to try and get through this as fast as possible because I can't actually hang out for too long.
Okay.
So first things first, and I'm gonna try and take a neutral stance. So if I'm saying the word disingenuous, I don't mean you're intentionally being disingenuous. But
Okay.
first things first, you said that, you wanted to bring up the Aiden tweet, but you didn't get a chance to. But when Aiden was saying he had said his piece, you didn't even try to bring up the fact that you had one more point.
Well,
You
Aiden
think
said
it's
he had
fair
to
that
go.
people, but he said he had to go, but you didn't even bother to say, well, do you have time for one tweet? Like,
Well, I mean,
even
he'd
if he
already
would have
drawn
still,
himself
even
out
if
longer
he would
than.
have, well, no, if he would have still left, then at that point, I think it's more fair. But don't you think it's fair for the audience who didn't hear you try to bring up the tweet before would think that you're disingenuous for bringing it up now? Because I think that's a
I just,
fair
I,
assumption from the chat.
I think people have no reason to presume that I did it maliciously. I think I've been pretty vocal about like there was no intent to like pull that up behind Aiden's back. Like we debated this on Twitter for hours. I have no issue with discussing this with Aiden because I do I do think that it would be like I think Aiden will have points that I will not be able to refute. I think Aiden will have points that I can fight. I have no reason to fucking I don't benefit in any way from not having Aiden here to refute it. Because regardless, I mean the chat's already on Aiden's side, so it doesn't really change anything. I did
Well,
want
you
to bring it
said,
up with Aiden, but Aiden said he had
well,
to go, so
well, you said that you don't care about the public opinion, which, by the way, I really think you should stop looking at chat if that's the case, because you've mentioned it, I think, 6 times in the last 15
I'm only
minutes.
responding to chat because it's interesting to get more perspectives, and I think I'm seeing some things that are like just brain dead. I just want to laugh. At them.
Well, the other thing is you say it doesn't benefit you, but when someone says, well, the difference between AC was saying the difference between Aiden's situation and Clancy's situation is that there was no evidence that his friend was suicide baiting. So you brought up the fact that Aiden claimed that they were baiting based on what other people said. But Aiden's not here to clarify what he meant by that. So you only have that tweet story to go off of rather than what Aiden could clarify right here, right now.
I mean, that's true. I would prefer if Aiden was here, but I mean, if Aiden's still here, Aiden can join back in. I'm perfectly fine with that.
I can, yeah,
mentioned-
I can see what chat means if they mean that it's unfair to make that assumption while he's not around. I can get that.
I mean, we could also argue it the other way though. Aiden was making assumptions about me based on my tweets before I joined the stream. Like it goes both ways.
Fair.
That's fair. Yeah, I did make an assumption I made several assumptions about you. So
you mentioned Etika. Was there any time Etika ever used his suicide to get something he wanted?
No, that's the difference. But I don't think that's relevant.
Do you know any
the argument that people made that he was suicide baiting? I think people who make the claim suicide baiting without strong evidence to prove it, I think are being super risky.
I can agree they're being risky. But do you have any examples of anyone that's ever taken their life that have, at this point, over a year, used their suicide to get what they want?
Not in hand, but I'm sure I could find some.
Oh, I'm sure you could. But what I'm just saying is, like, Like, there's a
On
small
hand, no, but I
possibility
don't
you
think just
could.
because they haven't. I don't think just because they haven't killed themselves doesn't mean they won't, or that they haven't
Do
considered
you
it, or that
think
they haven't attempted.
I can agree that it would be irresponsible to call someone a suicide baiter offhand? Do you think it's irresponsible to use your own suicide as a tool to get what you want?
Yes,
Therefore,
totally.
therefore, but furthermore, to allow now everyone else to claim you're a suicide baiter, because that falls in line. No one would be calling them a suicide baiter if this wasn't the case.
Well, I don't think it's their fault that people took something from their actions that they didn't actually mean.
I don't think that's true.
That's just
I think
people's opinions, and I don't think I don't think it's Clancy's fault that people think they're a suicide beta because they were manipulative with their mental health. I do think that they were responsible with their fucking like the shit they did. I think they was completely wrong, dude. I think it was completely wrong of them to threaten their own safety. And I do understand. I can understand why people think that they're a suicide beta based on that. Like as I said, even if I personally thought that Clancy was suicidal, or even if I thought Clancy was suicide baiting, that doesn't mean I would. I think it was. I'd still think it was irresponsible for someone like Aiden with a big platform to post that on their platform.
Well, that was my next point. I think this will be my last point. I kind of think, and again, I don't think this is intentional. I think it is disingenuous to claim Aiden's thousands of followers. Yes, 2,600 specifically. The specific tweet that we are talking about got less than 100 likes. Now, I know it got more impressions, but impressions can come down to so much as you passed by it when you were going through Twitter.
Yeah, I mean that
So,
goes for anything though. But I'm gonna take my exact tweet that I made about Aiden. This tweet has this same amount of likes, but it actually has one more like. If I go to analytics, that tweet's been seen by 3,000 people. Like, I think it's irresponsible to put something in front of 3,000. Like, if I made a claim of anything that I didn't have conclusive evidence behind, like someone, a heap of things, a murderer, anything, the tweet. This is the most example, sorry. But,
my point is that I don't think it's fair to say that thing has been seen by yeah, it has thousands of impressions. I don't think it's fair to say that it's been seen. Like, I can give you an example. Your car could have a car bumper, right? And it can have a message. Thousands of people will definitely see it. How many of those people are reading it and taking those bumpers in? I mean, usually they're jokes, but I'm using that as an example because you can have something that a lot of people see, but how many people really see it is my point.
Okay, well, I still think 100 people, even if we're going off of just people who liked the tweet, or if we go by just people who engaged with the tweet, there's 406 people who've engaged with this tweet. My tweet, that's the same amount of likes as Aiden's. That's
Right, but
I think 400 people is a lot. If you imagine 400 individual people like you and me,
no,
who have
I can agree.
lives,
400 is a lot. 400 is
I think
very
putting something
small
like that in
compared
front
to
of 400 people
four.
is irresponsible.
I think hundreds is a lot less. Thousands the same way. Thousands is a lot less than tens of thousands.
Do you think, say for example, Clancy, do you think one person like Clancy can fight 400 people in a battle? I think 400
No, but she
people
has.
who hold
But
a view.
here's the thing: is that
That was a bit
Clancy has.
confusing.
I understand what you're saying. Here's the thing: is that Clancy did. I don't know if she still does, or he. Sorry. I don't. He still does, but he has lots of friends that do have a lot of pull that could stick up for them. But now, because of the amount of times that they have done the same thing over and over again, those people are less inclined. I believe their own significant other. I don't know if they're still together, but their own significant other
You mean
even
Blair?
said, I'm not standing with Clancy on what they just recently did. This is someone that would stand with them if this was just a one-off, maybe even two-time situation. But this is like the fifth or sixth time that it's happened in a year.
I think Blair doesn't Clancy just because Clancy used their mental health as a weapon in that situation. I think Blair would hold the same opinion regardless because I'm quite close to Blair. I know them pretty well.
But
From
what
what I
I'm saying
gather,
is-
Blair can tell me if I'm wrong about this. I think they would react the same way regardless if this was the first time.
would you agree that Aiden typically, in most situations, the community sides against Aiden because most of the community doesn't really like Aiden?
I think that's a incorrect narrative. You're going by the Orgy community, which is separate communities. Like if we're going by my community, if I streamed this on my channel, I would easily have bodied Aiden, regardless of if I made any good points, because
Well,
that's just going off of audience.
I'm talking about the
right?
Twitter community, which the vast majority of the Twitter community does consist of Augie, Nick, and Aiden's
I mean,
audience when it
even
pertains
even
to
going by Twitter community, my tweet to Aiden has 200 likes. Aiden's tweet to me has 50, 20, 26, 13, 28, 32, 23. Sorry, 31 as well. Like Aiden's tweets to me, like even then he's still getting bodied number wise. I
No,
don't think that's
I
relevant
think
to
you're
the
misunderstanding. I think you're
discussion.
misunderstanding me. I'm saying that that's actually proof to my point that if a significant enough amount of people were siding with Clancy, it would be easy for Clancy to get back up from whatever Aiden said.
I
But
don't think
because of
so
the
because
free,
it's
I
just
think
because
so.
your
I think
community
if this
agrees
was
with
the
you.
first, I can guarantee you that if this was the first or even second time Clancy did this, you'd have people like Taps who has, you have people like Taps, you have people like Blair, you probably have people like Bunk. You'd have a whole bunch of people that would stand by what Clancy said versus what Aiden said, rather than you and Peaches are kind of the only ones standing up for them at this point.
I think there is a way larger disparity between the people on Aiden's side and Clancy's side. I think that regardless, it would have a massive impact on their life. I think it would have a massive impact on someone's life to call them a suicide bear, regardless of whether you have a big platform of your own. People still come out with that take someone like Aiden says it. Like let's not mince words here, right?
Well,
People value
we
Aiden's
can't
word
say
more because Aiden
regardless.
has big
We
numbers.
can't say regardless of platform because
Okay,
the whole
yeah.
point of this thing is Aiden's size and what it does
Okay,
to
yeah, okay.
Clancy.
Well, I think it is. I think it is ignorant to pretend that Aiden has a bigger platform, right? He has a channel with 700k subs. Like that factors into how many people agree with Aiden in this situation. He's a bigger creator. He's got a bigger platform. Like even if he isn't posting this on his channel, it's the same logic with the Dream shit with the Johnson shit back in the day. Like because Dream has a bigger platform, even if he's posting on a smaller community, his words still hold more value. Like I think it's I think
Well, yes, he has a channel with 700k, but as you said yourself to Aiden,
it is
that
pretty dead.
his channel is dead. So
Totally.
those
But I do still
numbers
think it's
aren't
a much bigger
like
community than Clancy. Like he got
like
100k on his first video.
PewDiePie has 100 million subscribers, right? But probably if he says something, the most amount of people that will see it is 10 million. A lot,
Yeah,
but
I
only
agree.
a
I agree.
fraction of that bigger number.
But my point is, regardless, it's the fact that there is that big number attached to it that people still value Aiden's word more. And I think it is like when going against someone like Clancy, if we're going like a 700k sub YouTuber versus one random Twitter nobody of 1k followers, I think people value Aiden's word way more. And
Wait, how many?
and regardless,
Hold
this
on.
is regardless to the point with debating like things that don't really matter. I think
Well, how many followers did you say Clancy has?
Clancy has like 1.2k on Twitter. Aiden has like 2.4k on Twitter.
So roughly half.
Yeah. But that's Clancy's entire following. That's not like if we add up like Aiden's following across platforms, it's like not even comparable. And like Aiden's influence in communities, it becomes incomparable how much bigger it is. But the point I'm trying to make is I think is it was ridiculously irresponsible for Aiden to make a post on his platform saying outright that Clancy is a suicide baiter. He didn't say he thinks it. He didn't say that they might be. He didn't say anything like that. He didn't mince his words or like water it down. He said he believes outright they're a suicide baiter. I think if you can't, that is a ridiculously dangerous claim to make. And I know Aiden kept responding like, yeah, but then we're going off of like abilities. Like technically we can't prove this, we can't prove that, but that doesn't mean like anything. Like if you can't prove something is the case, you can't prove something isn't the case, then you shouldn't
I
make
don't
the
think
claim.
that's necessarily true every single time. I think most of us would agree gravity is probably a thing, even though gravity is still a theory. Not in every single case is something that is 100% provable, something that you can claim. Now, the thing is, Aiden said he believed. Like, that's the thing, is you're saying he said he believed. Even if he said he is a suicide baiter, at the end of the day, you've proven, and I think most people would agree, at the end of the day, you cannot 100% prove whether Clancy is suicide baiting or not.
Exactly, and that's why
I'll say it right now. I believe they are. All right,
even if that's your opinion.
My opinion is, even if they did kill themselves like right now after this stream, to me that isn't in response to the back and forth DMs that happened. That's in response to the continued pushback that's happened since then.
I mean, I think in that scenario they would still not be a suicide baiter because they actually killed themselves. But I think you can have an opinion, right? I think you can have an opinion that someone's a suicide baiter, but I think it's stupidly reckless to claim that as a fact on your social media platform. I think at that point you're a fraud. You're lying to your audience. You're spreading unfounded
think-
claims without the evidence to support them, baseless allegations that are severely damaging to people's lives.
I think what my opinion and what most people's opinion is that even if we were to agree with you
You're
that it
saying
is
most people here. You're
irresponsible,
saying most people here, but that's incorrect because in this situation there's more people in my favor. So we're going. Let's just say like a large group of people agree with you. A large group of people agree with me.
well, okay, well, if you want to mince words, whatever.
I'm not
The
trying to
point
mince
I'm
words. I just
making-
think I think it comes across the wrong way when you're like most people agree with me, or most.
Well, you're
people
going
agree
by
with
how
me.
many you're going by how many likes you got. How many of those people that know those likes know about the Clancy situation as much as the people
I'm
I
going.
know?
I'm going on about like how many. I'm going on about how many as a collective have agreed with me versus Aiden on our tweets. I think it's at that point it's wrong to say like, oh, most people agree with me because I don't think most people agree with you. I think
Well, I'm going based off the people that I know for a fact know fully about the Clancy situation.
so.
So
Just say
the
just
people
say
that
agree
know,
with you.
so the people that fully know about the Clancy situation, that do agree with me, the reason they agree with me, and even if they were to agree that it is irresponsible, I think most of them at this point have run out of a reason to care because of the frequency and because of the abuse. Because I think it is emotional abuse to put your life on someone else's hands
It's emotional
to get
abuse,
what
yeah,
you want.
Totally.
So at this point, I honestly could honestly care less about Clancy, and honestly, that is Clancy's fault for
I mean,
abusing
I
people
think
the
it's
way
fair
that they
to say
have.
it's their fault. I think it's fine if you don't personally care anymore for them. I do think it's bad to not care about their safety, but also I just want to point out people in the chat. Jalen appears in the chat, and I think he's insulting me, but I don't really know. And then someone replies right after saying you're a fake woman.
Wait,
You fucking ban that
Don't
person.
give them
Fuck that shit.
acknowledgement. That gives them power, Harley.
Who's
I have
Jalen?
not.
Who said?
But
I
again,
don't know
you
what
said that you
Jaden's.
don't care about the public opinion, but you've looked at chat. I can tell you right now, I haven't looked at chat a single time during us talking. You shouldn't be looking at chat when you're. Well, you shouldn't. What I'm going to tell you is you shouldn't look either you're doing a debate or anything like that. And
Yeah.
the same thing goes for Aiden. I don't know if Aiden was looking at chat. If you're talking with somebody, you shouldn't be looking at what other people are saying in the first place. But I don't really
Aiden
have any more
agrees
points to
with
bring
you,
up.
actually.
I
So
don't think so. I think
I'm gonna
taking
head out.
opinions from everyone
All
is
right, I'll
important.
see you, Mike.
Okay,
Thanks
stay
for
safe,
calling.
Mike. Good talking to you.
Yeah.
I
So,
appreciated Mike's talk
Harley,
there. I mean,
yeah,
he gave
no.
me the nuanced take.
I
That's
mean,
like all I've wanted. I didn't want like Aiden's fucking insane. So whenever you talk to Aiden will never. This is the problem with Aiden. Aiden will never accept an L on anything. Like in any drama Aiden's ever had with people like Augie, where he's had debates, he won't take the L regardless. So I knew that going into stream that regardless, I was not going to get a W against Aiden.
Which is why most of the time the community doesn't like him. But that being
Yeah,
said,
I mean that's true.
If the people who generally most of the time hate him are agreeing with him in this instance, I think that does say something though.
yeah, I think I want to be fair. I don't like Aiden. I mean, we agree on some things, but I'm not necessarily like, oh, I want to hang out with him. And we've had our differences, and he's like roasted me and challenged me to debates and all that stuff before. But even I'm pretty understanding of his take, and I still can't quite wrap my head around the way that you first off conceptualize suicide baiting, or you describe it really like just semantically, and second,
I'm just describing it based on the way everyone uses it.
and
Or everyone
second,
has
I don't see how I certainly don't necessarily see how like what Aiden said in the past conflicts with what he said now.
I just
Although
wanna
the
put this out
phrasing
there,
of it
though.
the phrasing of it of what he said now, it was obviously way harsher. And I think even Aiden said that like he phrased it in a way like he's like going hard like Destiny, like he's just stating his opinion like that.
I mean,
As to whether or
regardless, I
not
think it's responsible.
it's a joke, I mean, I could see that it was sort of this tongue-in-cheek thing, like where it's like, oh yeah, if somebody comes up to me and starts baiting, I'm gonna tell them to do a flip or some shit, like. I
Flip.
personally, I can say that. Yeah, I know, right? If somebody's on the edge, say do a flip, but like I can see that. I'm
Well,
sympathetic.
okay.
I see what
There's a
Aiden's
few
trying to
things
say.
I want to put out here. Firstly, obviously, more people are going to agree with Aiden in this point because we're
No,
talking about, and
because-
this is the edgy community, dude. It's like if you
No,
like,
but,
regardless of people's predisposed opinions on Aiden, if Aiden's presenting the edgy take, people will agree, bro. If I'm on this stream right now and I'm like, I think everyone should be able to say the word fag because freedom of speech is integral.
Thanks.
Everyone in the chat will agree. I mean, it's fine, dude. I date men. You got the pass from me.
Okay, buddy. But Yeah,
But,
no, no,
dude,
but like
if I said shit like that, dude, on this stream, everyone would agree with me in the chat
when
because
I
that's this fucking community, and
Doc on,
that's why I think
yeah.
it's that's why I think it's a false equivalence to be like, because people normally disagree with Aiden, that means that people will agree with that means people won't agree with him now. But I don't think that's the case.
People's knee-jerk reaction is to disagree with Aiden, no matter what. Like,
No,
Yeah.
that's
if
the
he
thing.
presents like an edgy opinion, though, if he presents something like that, I think most people agree with him.
But I think no, but I don't think people were even aware of his opinion before the stream began, and or they didn't hear him fully flesh it out. They saw the tweets and they saw things like that,
I thought his
and then
tweets were
they
pretty
saw
obvious.
they didn't have him hash it out as thoroughly as he did with you. They didn't have that to run off of.
I
They just
suppose,
had
but I
you
also
at a
still
glance.
think he was presenting the edgy opinion, and people normally agree with
I
the edgy
don't.
opinion. I've seen
I don't.
Aiden win so many debates because he presents the edgy opinion.
No,
I
because
don't
there are
even think
times.
that.
Oh, sorry, AC.
No, I just don't even think that his. I don't think that his opinion was necessarily edgy. I think.
I
His
think it
opinion.
feels to more that crowd.
I think it could have gone a lot farther than it did. And another
yeah,
thing I want to
yeah,
point
definitely.
out is Doc on the radio made like a poll when this first was going on, and a couple hours ago it was pretty close. It was neck and neck. Like you were winning at a point. You were like people were voting Team Harley over Team Aiden over this shit. You know. But
I mean, then you're going to audience though. Doc on the radio has an audience mostly cultivated through Augie's promotion.
my
Like if I
point is
fucking
my point is that to begin with, even with his audience that was cultivated through Augie's promotion, you still had a fair chance. You had a neck and
Exactly.
neck race there. Now where it is right now, it's 65 Aiden, 34 Harley basically, but that's like 231 people. And
But
that's
I mean,
still
if I
it's
posted that on
usually
my
a slam
community,
dunk against usually it's a slam dunk against Aiden, no matter
I mean,
what.
Aiden's presenting the edgy opinion, so he wins here in the
I
community.
I
But
don't
if I posted shit
okay,
like
well
that on
that's
if I posted that on my fucking thing, and I know this isn't direct equivalence because Doc isn't Aiden, but if I posted like the same poll on my account, I would easily topple. It's based on Doc's audience. Doc has an
Doc's
audience that
audience hates it.
mostly.
That's my whole thing. I guess you can say maybe the opinion would override how much they hate Aiden, but personally, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that people would override their hatred of Aiden just because for like a minorly edgy opinion. They, like I said before, they take any opportunity to dunk on Aiden. They take any opportunity to automatically say Aiden L. I mean, this is we're talking
I mean,
about the
people agree with
community.
Aiden all the time.
Yeah,
Though.
there's
Harley,
been
you're talking about the
times.
community where people paid hundreds of dollars just to kick him from calls when
I know
Augie
people did
wanted
that when I was on Augie's stream too.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
also too,
yeah,
like
that's
there
fair.
have been times where Aiden has tried his best to be edgy in the community, and like people like still dunk on him. There was a time where I'm not sure if he was being ironic with it or not, but he legit said, "You see me all as the villain, but soon you'll realize I'm right." He goes on like
Yeah,
these
no,
Twitter
I saw that.
tirades about
That was so
how
cringe.
like.
Yeah, I mean that's just cringe though as fuck. That's cringe as fuck.
But you get
Yeah.
but you get that point where it's where like what we're saying is like I believe like Aiden has like his point has validity to some extent because
Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
I'm not arguing that, but I'm also trying to put it out there. I think a community that already dislikes Clancy, especially because of the John shit last year. I think a community that's more on the edgy side. I think a community that with people in this audience that's watching this stream right now who said Clancy was suicide baiting. I think those people are more predisposed to disagree with me. I think if we did this debate on my platform or on any platform that was more in favor of me, this debate would go completely the opposite way.
But you would agree that something like claiming somebody's suicide baiting is a pretty serious allegation, right?
A serious allegation. And
Absolutely.
incredibly
Nobody would
dangerous.
take it lightly. It's like calling somebody like a pedophile seriously and trying to maintain that.
Nobody would take it lightly. Everyone in Aiden's community took it lightly.
Well, my point is that I think, and I don't think there's a huge overlap of Aiden's community and this community. There is some people like
I think
Bonk
there's a big
or
overlap.
Blair or whatever that tune into Augie RC, of course, or like right now, a lot of these people just tune into my stream all of a sudden. But my point is, I think that Aiden is at far more of a disadvantage than you are when it comes to what the court of public opinion automatically thinks, no matter what comes out of their mouth.
I don't think so. And Aiden has much more experience debating. He debates people like every week for the past year. I've never debated anyone in my life.
Kick Aiden here is a meme, right? It's a meme that people take to heart, you know. no matter what he's saying, even if he's saying the edgiest shit, even if he's saying stuff about like fucking like the Holocaust or whatever, it's like if he's like saying like some fucking like oh, I don't know if the numbers, or like I don't know if that was enough or something like that, we're like, okay, that's edgy, Aiden, but kick Aiden L, fuck off, like that's automatically. So
I mean,
I
that's
don't
just
think
being
that's a good. I don't think it's a
Thank
good
God.
argument to like to put up.
My
I mean, you
point is
can
the
feel that
community
way.
in this situation is more predisposed to Aiden. Augie's community fucking hates me because I went on one of the streams and I said that like trans rights are a real thing, like that people should be more trans inclusive in that community, and that community fucking hates me for it. Like everyone liked me because Augie liked me, and then I said that, and then all of a sudden, like every time I appear on stream, people pay money to
Well,
kick me out.
personally, I'm just not a fan of your voice, but I mean,
That's fair.
it's like begins. I think that's the greatest part of my problems, but anything like political, I don't really care about, and I think a lot of people can put political stuff aside because there are so many people that lean left in this community. I mean, regardless,
Oh, I don't know.
there is a stunning amount
Bro,
of people,
bro, I literally
especially
just
with
watched
the
I watched
younger
Jalen
that the
poach.
people get. The younger the people are, the more liberal that they are in general with their politics, I think.
I don't think
There's an
so.
exception with a couple of like edgy 14-year-olds that are like dudes that are just trying
I
to
think
like
you're
lash
way more
out.
edgy when you're younger. But I also think it's very important to mention the fact all Jalen had to do was type in chat to be told then they're a fake woman. That's the type of community we're dealing with in this debate, and that type of community that would
Well,
say
okay,
something so
okay,
hateful so
let's
willingly, so easily. No,
but the,
let me just quickly make
Okay,
this point.
people
A
don't say
community
that.
that has a community that has people in it that will say things like that, and I saw Froky saying some things that were like equivalent earlier in the chat, like earlier in the stream, or like shit that was like quite bad. When I'm making these statements that I think you shouldn't make claims like suicide beta, and the general audience of a lot of people that are engaging in this chat are the same people who are like, Jalen's a fake woman. I think we already know these people are already
I
predisposed to
don't
making
think a
extreme
lot of
claims
the people
without
in this
having
chat are
evidence.
like that, though. I think that's the exception that proves the rule,
I don't
right?
know. The second I mentioned the fact that
It was literally
second I mentioned the fact
Spondyle.
that
It
they
was
said
literally
that
fucking
to Jay.
Spondyle, who's like the resident
Froky
Spurs.
replies to Lamau. People mocked me for saying ban that person, etc. But I mean,
Um,
my point is like this is a community that's obviously going to be against me regardless. If I present these opinions in any one of my videos, they would not be debated. If I said I think it's irresponsible for someone to make sweeping claims, serious allegations, and state them as fact on a public platform that someone is a suicide beta, most people in my community would agree with that. Most people I think that are sane would agree with that. But
but you see with that though, it's like let's say who was that, Belle Aubrey, let's say Belle Aubrey and Willie Mack got into a debate at the height of the Eugene and Cooney thing, right? And the debate's held
I mean, you're bringing an
on
example here. I don't know. So.
well, point is, two people get into drama that's not related to pedophilia or suicide. Point is, if the debate is held on if the debate's held on the channel of the person who's clearly wrong, but the echo chamber says otherwise, that doesn't invalidate the other person's point, which I get is what you're trying to say. But the thing is, like, this isn't hosted on Aiden's channel. This is hosted on AC's channel with a vast majority of audience who hate Aiden more than they hate
and
you.
I would say it's fair enough to say that most of the people, a good portion of the people in the audience, don't like either of you. I think that's entirely fair to say. I think that's why I had people saying like they were going to rip their hair out, or they felt like they were going insane because you guys were going back and forth, circles and circles. Like two teenagers fucking arguing about like bullshit.
I mean, that's why I didn't want to debate him. I just felt I knew this debate was pointless from the start. But
Well,
I mean,
you can have you can have a defeatist sort of like perspective of it, where it's like, well, the audience isn't in my favor. I think this is just a semantic thing. I think this is this or that, whatever. But I do think that if the roles were reversed, you absolutely, I mean, if you were arguing Aiden's point and Aiden was arguing your point, nobody would automatically flock to be sympathetic to Aiden, even if he did try to grill you the same way that he does with every debate. Because it would just be at its core, it would be a shitty point. There'd be some people that would hype it up and be like, Aiden W. Those people, I think, would be in favor of him to begin with. In the same way,
I think this community, the people that I've seen in chat, because the people who are watching the stream, we have no idea whether they agree with me or Aiden. The people in chat, the majority of people in chat are the more edgy type. And I know that because I know a lot of the people in this chat. But I mean, I feel like a lot of people are thinking I'm taking this way more seriously than I am. I didn't come in here to debate Aiden, as I said. This was all just a little conversation or whatever. So, I mean, I'm drunk right now. I'm just having fun. I was like, oh, I saw that you guys were streaming. I was like, fuck it, I'll join. That's a bit of fun. Might as well have a conversation. So I joined because I was in a call with one of my friends, Mifi, and then I saw the stream and I was like, do you think I should join? They were like, yeah, fuck it, I'll join.
Mifi. Isn't that the? Is that? Oh no, I've talked to Mifi before. Yeah, I've talked to her on the server actually.
Cool artist. Yeah, you probably have to join VC, sir. But
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck it, I'll join. Like I didn't come into this call with any kind of like plan or whatever, like a debate like you would. I didn't really research anything or whatever. I just thought it would be much easier because I'm seeing Aiden when I go to VidCon in a few like,
Oh boy,
20
yeah,
days.
I heard about that in 2 weeks or something. Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
think
fun.
like
Can't wait for you to fucking debate each other and fight in real life. That'll be great.
I mean
Yeah.
that's why I joined this call because I feel like this call lowered a lot of the tensions from what it was on Twitter at least. Like at least now we have
Well,
like a channel to communicate, which
I
makes it
think-
much easier because I don't want to like fucking argue with Aiden at VidCon or whatever. I don't want to ruin like a great experience in my life because I had a fucking cringe disagreement with Aiden on Twitter.
Don't
Whatever,
worry,
you
you'll
know?
find something else to argue about from fucking Twitter.
Probably.
Yeah.
Give it time. Give it a couple days. You know, the news cycle will roll around.
I'll probably
and then there'll
be
some
in
other
his side
bullshit.
whenever the next thing happens. Whenever Aiden has to present the liberal opinion.
I mean, you know, either way, I just think it's fair to like have people on and to like discuss what they said and to discuss their opinions on
Yeah,
what
totally.
what both sides said. You know, and I mean, regardless of whether or not I agree with you, I appreciate you like actually coming on here. I just didn't reach out to you at first because you can guess I was a little pessimistic when you're talking about numbers and you know cloud or not cloud, but you're talking about 100K like audience reviews or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, so you know he's not
Yeah,
gonna
that
give a
was
shit
just
about this.
played up for the funny. But I mean,
Oh.
I prefer discussing on this kind of platform anyway. It makes it much
Alright.
easier because there's no like I don't really benefit from this situation in any way. So it's like it just makes it much easier for people. Like if I appeared on Augie's stream, regardless, people would be like, "Ah, clout chaser, clout chaser."
Mhm.
So I was
Well,
like, "Fuck it." Whatever.
you know, Harley, I can't say that I really like you, but I do have to respect you for coming on to a stream with like an arrow pointing towards your face saying "Cloud Chaser" on the thumbnail. You know, that
I
little.
mean, I
it's
think
some
people
balls,
think
some
I take
balls.
this shit way more seriously than I do. Like I fucking laugh about memes people make about me. I make clout chaser jokes myself. I genuinely couldn't give a shit less, dude. At the end of the day, I make a video about my opinion. If people disagree, that's totally fine. I get paid for my videos. The money is like it's the money in the community is all I really care about. I get to meet people who are like-minded and I get to engage with them. People like Mifi, and I get to make videos talking about things I'm passionate about and get paid for it. Like
Yeah.
that's I don't care if people disagree with me because it doesn't affect my income at the end of the day. It doesn't affect my community. People are always gonna there's always gonna be a community there that agree with me. It's like I just do this shit for fun, really. I'm at a point where I can appear on I can like I'm it sounds so fucking egotistical. I hate fucking discussing this. I'm at a point financially where I can just do whatever the fuck I want, really. And like that's why I think like people think that I take this debate shit or like the drama shit seriously. Like I'm gonna be awake tomorrow, fucking sweating myself like into like sweating bullets about fucking what Aiden Projects tweeted to me to like 30 likes or whatever. Like I couldn't care less. I came on this stream because it seemed like a bit of fun. Like I don't give a shit if people dislike me. If you dislike me, more fucking power to you.
Well, this isn't. Yeah, exactly. This isn't. I like feel like everybody should just like know this isn't like a proper. This wasn't. First off, this wasn't. The stream wasn't created with the intent of becoming a debate, right? This wasn't. This isn't a proper debate platform. If you're looking for a formal debate, if you're looking for something on like a set subject or whatever, you're in the wrong place.
I mean, like people watching a drunk teenager argue fucking suicide as like
I
a
could tell.
discussion.
I
Like
could.
this
I'll tell
is
you, people wanted to see it. Whatever it was, people wanted to see it, and that's why
exactly
people tuned in the
it's
first
entertainment,
place.
right? At the end of the day, like
Yeah,
like
and I
I'm
agree.
presenting,
Nobody
we're
should take
discussing
it
serious
seriously.
things, right? But this isn't like the biggest thing in the world, right? Like at the end of the day, next week, no one's gonna fucking care about this. I'm just here because it's like it's fun, right? It's fun to
Yeah, probably.
like that's why people debate. It's fun to debate your opinions. It's fun to put them out there, and I don't really care if Aiden owned me in this debate or whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. I think Aiden's a fine person. I've said to him, I think he makes good content. Whenever he fucking uploads, the fucking rat. Like I don't fucking have anything against Aiden.
Okay.
I just
Okay. That's
I just think he made a bad take, and I disagreed with it. And then I see people in chat. I want to go through a few chat messages.
oh
I see
boy.
people like, Harley, why are you paying attention to chat? You're in a debate, lol. I mean, I don't really think this is a debate. I'm just like having fun. I'm here casually. This person says Harley used a dead person to make an argument, but they're also using a dead person to get an own on me. So regardless, like hypocritical as fuck. This person says paying attention to chat is normal. I've done it myself, but assessing over it isn't. Like, I don't really think I'm
Harley is
obsessing
gay
to
and
read it.
bad type.
Bait. Wonder why people think Harley's a clout chaser. They link it to Twitter. I was like, your social paid numbers are lower than mine. Oh. I mean, this tweet was kind of true. Why would I care about winning a debate against Aiden fucking Projects? Low. His channel and Twitter are both dead. I don't gain anything, and everyone already knows Aiden is a spag. I mean, I'm not wrong, but like, I'm also still here debating him because I was fucking bored. Like, if I like, most people who debate people, they debate people who have bigger platforms because there's benefit in them. Like when Destiny debates Hassan, it's because they both have big platforms. There's like it's like a gamble to gain more followers, or whatever. My point with this tweet was, why would I prioritize debating some dude who hasn't uploaded in 1 year over like working on my own video that pays me? It's like the real meaning behind this tweet. And I think like I see people who always go on about like this YouTuber is a clout chaser. Dude, fucking every YouTuber is a clout chaser.
I gotta
Like,
read this dono real quick from Tipster,
Okay.
$5. He says Harley needs to lay off the Adderall. He speaks faster than Destiny. Lol. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, that's just because I'm
you-
drunk, though. That's just because I'm fucking intoxicated.
What are you, part Irish? You got the gift of gab? Like, what's
I'm
going on?
drinking. I think I'm drinking Irish alcohol. Actually, let me look. I'm drinking Irish cream liqueur, salted caramel. So I suppose there is a bit of
That's
Ireland
why
in
they
me
call
today.
them spirits. The spirit of the Irish is entered you. Yeah.
Person
I mean,
says you aren't drunk. Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Why are
buddy.
you? Here's a question: why are you awake and you're like drunk at like 4 a.m?
Are you okay?
'Cause I
Are
was
you
working
okay,
on a
Harley?
video.
Are you depressed?
I'm depressed. I saw Tom was on here earlier, and he was arguing some pretty good points for me.
Tom was arguing some of the similar stuff that you were. I mean, I think he brought up the etiquette thing without even knowing that you kind of like invoked
Really?
that. Yeah, he brought up etiquette too, and he argued about that. And I mean, Aiden was pretty consistent. That's why when you came on and you talked about etiquette, he referenced what Tom was talking to him about earlier, because he was trying to stay
really?
consistent with that. With his stance,
Actually.
with what Tom asked, because Tom asked very similar stuff to you about
I mean,
like
I
the
think me and
danger
Tom
of
are
somebody
quite.
actually doing something. And
Yeah,
how you
I mean,
don't
I
know.
think me and Tom are on quite similar level in terms of like me and Tom hold quite similar political opinions outside of like I think Tom's a free speech absolutist. I'm not a free speech absolutist, but I think that's really the only difference between me and Tom. Like I think we both hold the same kind of morals. Like I couldn't imagine Tom seeing someone like posting about being suicidal and then making a tweet being like suicide baiter. Like I don't think Tom would do that. Look at this fucking thing, by the way. I
Okay.
put a photo up. But like is that the actual tip?
That's about it. No, you did, Harley. Don't worry. You don't. Okay, I know with you, everything's a run-on sentence. You don't have to keep
Sorry,
talking. The
it's
dead
just
air
the
won't
drinking.
hurt you. The dead air cannot hurt you. Okay.
You're
A
not
little
Catholic.
bit of
just-
silence
it's-
is golden.
Listen, it's content creator brain, dude. I don't fucking stop speaking because you gotta feel the dead air.
Yeah,
That's how you,
here's
that's
the
how you
problem.
scream.
Some guys gotta just fucking breathe and chill. You know, like you're on alcohol. The thing is, alcohol is it's a depressant, right? You should be like relaxed. You should just be like, you should be slurring your words. You should be going slow. You should be like, man, feels like it could last forever. Oh wait, the
Aiden is
bottle's
more left
fucking
wing than
empty.
Harley. Totally. Aiden is way more left wing than me. Like
Oh
I
God, if AC was a goth mommy, how much would you donate for a super chat? So she
What the
said,
hell?
if only you knew.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Be
Right.
careful what you
Harley
wish
isn't
for.
gay. Harley isn't gay.
Harley
True,
isn't gay.
I'm being caught, dude.
That should really be. I would love to.
Harley
You know what?
sleeps with his parents.
That should be a real
Mhm.
debate. You should take the side of you're not gay, and somebody else should have to argue for you that you're gay. I think that would be fucking prime like entertainment.
We should get Tips ready to debate. You should debate the things that are going.
I mean,
I'm not really caught up with it.
hey, Tipster's welcome to Clubs Live, but I don't blame him at all. Nick the Oreo doesn't want to be in this server either. Because it's a little bit hectic.
Where is
Thankfully,
canceling?
well, hey, thankfully we fucking it's settled down. It's settled down. Okay, you know what? I've worked long and hard to make sure there's There's no fucking like naked ass twerking gifs. There's no more fucking like people like posting memes with let's say the hard F slur and all that. Things that Discord looks down upon. We've cleaned it up. We've tidied it up a little bit. Okay, and I've made sure. This is the thing. I don't want to have to lock it down. Augie does not want to have to lock it down.
This community, when this server first started, it was a fucking mess. I remember that.
Yeah, well, they like. Hey, somebody said it's only a matter of time until somebody gets groomed. Hey, we've been here for like 5 days now, or like almost a week.
Soon.
It's not happening. There's no evidence. It's not happening. It's not true. It's not true.
It'll happen. It'll happen soon.
Man, yeah. If we keep you in here, it's gonna happen, Harley. I understand.
I'm just gonna start grooming people.
I can take that. I know what a fucking threat is.
Are you gonna groom me?
No. Come on.
Sorry, by the way, I just want to talk about this thumbnail.
I'm too old.
I actually really like it. It's so
I'm
funny.
retired from grooming. Okay, I'm too old to groom anybody.
Yeah.
All right, I threw in the towel.
AC tried to groom people into being racist, but that didn't quite work out. So
that is true. That was what I was. That was alleged because people on my stream once had a discussion about. It was just a joke. There wasn't even a real discussion. It was like 2 minutes, and Augie and like Salvo and I think other people were there, and it was a discussion about a race tier list for like 2 minutes while I was playing Minecraft. And I was accused of grooming people to be racist, but turns out the guy made amends with me. He's British like you, Harley, and he really fucking loves monkeys. He's a legend.
Yeah.
He literally went on webcam with me. And he laid out a feast of like fruits, like banana and like half a watermelon and grapes and things. And we had like a digital like sit down, across the webcam. And we made amends. We broke bread. We made peace. Yeah, that was.
The amount of people in chat that are like, "Oh, he's drunk. 1 millionth cope so fast." It's like I came on stream and I was like, "Shit, I'm getting destroyed. Let me fucking guys, I'm drunk."
Yeah. They're counting the copes. They're like, no, he's backpedaling on everything.
Coping.
Always cope. Fucking overdose on copamine. Copium.
Yeah, get high on the coke.
Dude, I'm so unused to the debate, bro. Logic. I'm very not suited towards debates. I think that's quite obvious. I don't debate people. I've never debated people. I focus on. I don't make claims unless I have evidence to prove them. My videos, I like to get all the evidence before I make any video on anything. Debates are like the opposite. It's like you say everything regardless of how true it is, regardless of how much evidence you have. It like in the moment to get an A in, and like then you scream words like cope.
Well,
it's
plus
really interesting getting used to it.
That's blood sports. I mean.
Yeah, plus.
If it was blood sports, we'd hear more N words by now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think this was a good
example. On Augie's channel. Don't worry.
I think this was a pretty interesting debate, though. I don't think Aiden. I'm not gonna say it because I know that the community is gonna be like, oh, dude, the people in chat are gonna be like, Aiden kneeled on Harley.
Well, I'll tell you.
I think this went pretty neutrally. I think Aiden presented some fair things. I think I presented some fair things. It's more just a disagreement in personal morals, and I feel like that moral inconsistency is never gonna clear up whatever.
333. AC is the goth mommy of the community. Okay.
Are you being groomed by Mike?
Yeah, obviously. He's an older man too.
There's a 1 year difference between you guys.
People that's older than me, so it's like.
Yeah, I kind of think this stream was like a draw, really. I feel like if Aiden was here...
I agree with what Aiden said, and I agree with his points in his debate and everything. I think, regardless, it's good to at least to have this discussion to kind of like
I mean, I don't think Aiden overpowered my arguments. I don't think I necessarily overpowered Aiden's. I feel like we were kind of at a stalemate there.
My thing is, I think what it reveals to me is, like, apparently there are sides of the community that don't universally, like, agree on what the definition of suicide baiting would be.
I went into this thinking everyone used the same definition as me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I could kind of see how both would fit, but like if we're gonna like stick to like just one in this instance, I mean, I feel like I really feel like what Aiden described and the history with Clancy, I mean, as far as he described it, seems to fit that bill. Even if you disagree,
means that they aren't suicidal. I mean, that's fair. As long as you're presenting it as opinion, that's totally fine.
I don't
Like
know.
I don't
But that's the thing
disagree
with the
people
debate.
being
That's the
allowed
thing
to
with
have
the debate. You
opinions.
can't just provide. You can't just say, "Oh, that's just my opinion." That's not the point of a debate. If the
I
point of
mean,
the debate was
you
to be like, "That's
can
my
though.
opinion," it's like,
Well, I suppose in this debate in specifics, I mean, I think it's totally fine for you to say like you hold an opinion about like someone. Like if you say it's your personal opinion that Clancy's suicide baiting, more power to you because that's your opinion. I think if you claim it as a fact, that's when you're like being disingenuous. And that's my biggest issue with what Aiden did. If Aiden tweeted like, I think they're suicide baiting or whatever, I would be way less hostile. I would have been like, maybe don't say that because it's like it's a bit extreme. But like, I don't necessarily think that like that's like a problem, right? I don't think you can't present opinions.
"What's
I think
up,
he's within
Smaggle?"
his rights with that. Smaggle Daggle.
Smaggle crawled in. Is he muted?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
he's unmuted now.
Oh, welcome. Finally, Smaggle. Hello,
Hello.
dude. How are you gonna come on and then just not say anything?
He's
Yeah,
waiting.
give-
He's
yeah,
waiting
give-
to do something.
I can't. I can't
He's
kick him.
gonna
I'm
start
playing
ear
GTA
raping this
3.
stream out of nowhere.
Before it's done.
He's gonna do that thing with his throat.
What is that thing with his throat?
Like he clears it up, but like he makes a weird noise with it.
Oh yeah, he scratches it.
Smaggle does talk.
He says
pretty
it's
weird.
itching his throat. Yeah, Smaggle does talk weird.
Why does Smaggle talk like that? Is there any kind of like actual reason?
Well, see, when he was basically what happened is when he was a child and he was in the hospital, you know how like kids when they're born they have like a soft spot where their brain is like the skull is like forming and everything.
But you saying you got dropped at birth?
No. I'm saying what happened is apparently what happened is one time he was like playing around, he was like messing with his hands and he like pressed down really hard on the soft spot and that's why he talks the way he does. Would you believe that?
No. Mike
No.
says speak. Mike says speech impediment. That's fair. He,
No,
I've always
he's had a speech impediment.
Michael
forever.
DM'd me earlier and it was really funny.
Oh yeah. How many slurs did you say in the DM? Be honest.
Dude, Smaggle DMs me, why are you such a pussy, dude? Holy shit. All you care about is sub counts and what Aiden pulls. I said, I love sub counts.
Oh yeah, Smaggle is super aggressive. But then when it
Smaggle's
comes
basically,
to it,
you've got to have
but-
you've got to have a massive, like, you've got to have that person in the community that, like, fucks over everyone else to, like...
he does kind of run scared a few times though. I mean, we all
You've got to stay
I
away
think,
from the minors with the sex.
I think everybody watched the
Did you
commentary.
guys hear what I said?
Nope.
No,
No.
you haven't heard. You haven't
Oh,
been speaking
okay.
at all this whole
Yeah,
time.
Sorry about that. When I clicked the join button, my computer died.
Oh, you good?
My computer shut off, so I had to restart it. But yeah, it's been like 2 hours. Why are you guys still talking?
We're not really talking. This is post like the debate or whatever.
It's just
Ah.
casual talk, really.
Holly, have you accepted that you took the L?
No, I didn't take the L. I'd say it was a draw.
Oh my God, you're fucking doing Stardust. You're doing a
Stardust.
Stardust.
Do not compare me to Stardust. Never compare me to Stardust.
You are Stardust. I'm
Never
sorry.
compare a
you are
gay man to a
Stardust.
woman.
Never compare. Yeah, never compare a gay man to a woman. Exactly.
Highest dishonor. It's like Japanese Bushido. It's like gay Bushido code.
Yes.
He's gonna have to commit seppuku.
Ah,
Or he's gonna have to seppuku. He's gonna
What's
have
going
to
on with
seppuku
lyrics
bait.
anyway? Does anyone know what's up with lyrics? He like fucking
He's
faded out of
disappeared.
reality.
No, he's making anime
Maybe he went
content.
outside and touched some grass.
There are certain reasons which I can't disclose as to why Lyrics has left the community, but
Yeah, I'm also
Yeah.
Criminal record.
Yes, criminal
He got
record.
federally charged for his like anime addiction. If so,
Yes.
Tips is next.
Yeah, the commentary police arrested him for it.
Comment cop took him down.
Good. It was justified.
Dude, I've been dealing with Carly is a fake gay. True, dude. Dude, you know I had an ex that said I was a fake gay. I dated a dude, and this was like the first dude I dated, and I was super in the closet at the time, so I was like super shy about everything. And he said like it felt like I was only dating him because I wanted to be seen as gay, and I was like, What?
Isn't
Like,
that? I mean, isn't
opted
that
into
like
the
putting yourself at a
homophobia.
disadvantage in a way? I mean,
Yeah, like that's like losing points. It's like, oh yeah, I really opted into like wanting to be hate crimed.
yeah, I'd love to be. Yeah, I'd love to be seen as like gay, so that people can call me gay, and it'll
Y-
seem like it's true.
yeah,
You
as
gotta
we
weigh up the
know,
pros and cons. The pros, you can say the F slur.
That's
The
like the
cons,
opposite.
everyone's homophobic to you.
That's like the opposite of what a beard is supposed to do, right? Because a beard is a like a wife that you have to pretend you're not gay. So like that's like a boyfriend that you have to pretend that you are gay.
we'll
So
call it the
what's
mustache for Freddie Mercury.
yeah, I guess that's like a mustache or something.
How the fuck do you fake being gay? Exactly. It was really
Yeah,
weird when
when
he
it
said it
comes to
because
the
he
dick
went to his friend
sucking,
group and said I was like using him and shit to like as a gay pass. I was like, the fuck, dude? It's like, why are we
Adding
theorizing
game
on gay people? Like, game theory. Is Harley TBS really a homosexual?
Yeah,
Like, what the
just
fuck?
gay theory.
Dude, speaking about game theory, have you guys seen what's happening with MatPat?
No,
The people are like criticizing him because they found out that he was on a
GD.
stream that was like doing charity to like autism
No,
speech.
that's
or
not
whatever.
the drama.
I saw he
No.
watched porn.
No,
Like, he
no.
finally
The,
admitted
the
to
other
the
watching
drama
porn.
is basically what he's doing right now is he made a new video about FNAF, and in the video, he said that like one of the books that they released, he's convinced that it's an ARG in that was supposed to be made, but it's not anymore. And he's asking his audience to pick up the pieces by going to real world events. I mean, going to real world
Oh,
places
the
and
FNAF
like
theory.
trying
Okay.
to dox
Is an ARG like
people.
altered reality game or some shit like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Augmented reality
Yeah.
game?
Dude, I remember like for the longest time, MatPat was like, I've never seen porn, and then like in one of his newest videos, he admitted to looking at porn. Dude, that felt so satisfying. He finally got caught in it. Also,
I
may
mean,
I
he
just
never
say,
really needed
AC,
porn. He had a
sorry,
wife.
AC, I just want to point this out, bro.
What?
You're on a debate stream and you're playing GTA. Why are you not playing Elden Ring? That's like the
Elden
debate
Ring?
game of the
Who cares
year.
about Elden Ring, dude? Come on.
Don't say
It's-
that. I'm gonna be so fucking offended.
Unironically, GTA 3 better. Well,
Elden Ring is so good, dude. If you're debating, you've got to have Elden Ring gameplay. That's just the rule.
Let's see.
What?
Would that explode your computer, AC? Yes or no?
AC's got like a PC that can barely run a 480p.
No, I'm
game.
all right actually. I can play most modern games, but
Tipster just said GTA 3 greater than Elden Ring, and with that, Tipster, I never respect your opinion on
wait,
games again.
why is
GTA 3 does
Tipster
rock.
here?
okay, it's just I haven't played this in a while, so I kind of
Wait, Tipster, I thought you said you were done with the commentary community. What are you doing, buddy?
Well, he's still a
the
viewer.
gaming community. Can you not see him playing video games on stream, Smaggle? Clearly, we are all having just a cool.
Can someone
casual
explain the
hangout.
Tipster drama to me? I was never caught up in it.
Oh God!
Hey,
another stream
I
with
have a
Dave.
good idea. No, hold on. Nobody explain it. I have a great idea, Harley. You should watch my 4 videos that I made. They're very short videos.
4 videos.
They're like 4-minute videos. They're like short
Oh.
videos, and they
Well,
sum up the
technically,
entire
you
Tipster
made-
thing.
Or
Very neat.
watch the
Man,
Dead on
You
Dave
made
call.
3. Hold on. Technically, you made 3 videos, and then one of them is Parappa.
Oh
the
yeah, Parappa the Rapper made the 4th one. Yeah, that was the. Yeah, totally. I didn't make the 4th video.
Yeah.
Can Tipster explain it to me? That'll make it much easier.
I
I was so confused on that shit. I remember I saw it and I was like, lol.
Look.
hope Tipster's writing nah, homie, lol, in chat.
Lol, just
Yeah.
all caps, lol.
Okay.
Nah,
hold-
homie.
So
Guess
what was
happened?
the public consensus on that? Tipster cheated on his wife or no?
No,
What happened?
Tipster.
I love Tipster, but I have no idea what the fuck that was about. I was so
Oh.
confused.
He sent
Yeah,
one
I
too
don't-
many
Yeah,
Facebook
like
friend
a fucking
requests.
Ethan Ralph moment, and then
the page that had a friend request was the funniest thing I ever saw, dude. I was like, why does anyone care? Like, what is this point?
Yeah, no, but if you
Like
want
when
to
I
like
sent a
give
friend
a
request to
summary of it,
Jonathan.
one of you can. I don't care. I just want to
Summary it,
show
mate.
my video because my videos are doing really good. Apparently, I got like fucking 2,700 views on the first one, which is pretty cool.
Heck yeah!
Big for me. So
Pretty epic.
I know, Harley. The numbers don't impress you.
The numbers impress me. What do you mean?
The numbers, Mason.
You'll be there one day. You'll be there one day. Just not anytime soon. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
You'll
Yeah,
reach
not
my
to have
level
you on
in
my fucking
society
stream
one
all
day.
the time. I'm gonna lose so many fucking. No, I'm kidding.
I'll bring you the community. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll be a liberal by the end of the year.
Thank God. I need more liberals. I need them in my gay liberal agenda.
Yeah,
Dude,
isn't
to sum it up, don't fuck with TikTok, you guys.
I
Fair
mean, what
enough.
is wait?
Dude, I
So
saw the Ethan Klein clip about fucking gay people. That shit was so funny. He was
the
like,
thing about
they
like
have
the
like loose
bottoms and stuff.
asses. Are you a bottom? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that was actually. I mean, that's the problem. He was too funny there, so people couldn't allow that. I don't
Dude, I
like. I
saw
don't
that
even
shit and I
get
was like,
that.
he's it's the
That's
dumbest thing I've ever heard him say, but it was kind of funny.
it's like a dumb thing. Yeah, it's an absolutely stupid thing, but
It
like,
was insane beyond the point where I could like
Well,
yeah,
be
it's so
mad at him.
dumb that you have to laugh.
yeah,
Right?
well, you have to
Exactly.
realize
It's like
that
the clip where
entire
he's like,
that
sorry.
entire thing was so that way he could justify making fun of James Charles more.
Yeah, I know. Dude, it's fucking hilarious because whenever he does shit that he gets in drama for, it's always so insane and so unhinged that I can't help but laugh. Like the thing with like the gun safety thing where he's like, I fantasize about how quickly I could put the code in my gun
Yeah.
safe and I could pull out my shotgun, then I could pump shots into you at my front door. So fucking, if you think I'm against self-defense, test me. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
and then like there are the clips of him saying, you know what, I think we need to push those Republicans who have the wheelchairs and not help them.
Dude, he has so many bad takes. It's like the take he's like, if I was in a room full of black dudes, I would be inherently more scared. I'm like, what? What?
Right. Yeah.
He said that, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? That's just racism. It's just like, it's not even like sugar coated. Like that's just like blatant racism.
He's one of the few guys where it's like he has his own show that's like set up, but like the more you allow him to speak on his own show, the worse it gets.
Yeah, well,
Like, his show would be
liberal.
great if he didn't say a fucking word. It literally like
I think everyone would still love him if he still made videos. Yeah, like the way he used to, instead of this shit.
I don't blame
yeah. I
him
mean,
for
like if he
moving.
made videos the way that he used to, I mean, absolutely.
It's very obvious he's not good at streaming. Like
Yeah.
his clip recently where he was like, somebody should bomb that building, and then he's like, oh, I'll roll that back. It's like, what?
Yeah, the funniest thing is seeing people who like said like the joke about like like your asshole being loose or whatever from gay sex. People who got mad at that, like there's some people that will like turn around and then be like, "Well, he didn't say anything wrong with the bomb comment," and I'm like, "What? Huh? Hold on, you guys are like,
Yeah.
here's you rebel against him when he like says something like that, but when he like threatens something like this, it's like you guys are like, no. YouTube is just like, yeah, YouTube and these platforms are owned by the Republicans or whatever. You can't say the truth. You can't say what you really feel. It's like, well, I mean, nobody could really like say whatever they want on these platforms.
It's weird, right? Because it's like I like to think of myself as a relatively normal person. Like I live my life like a normal person. I act like a normal person. Like I fucking until last week I was going to college, but I'm done with college now. Like I now just work my job like a normal person. Outside of my job, I play games with people. I do regular shit like a regular fucking person. Which is why I find it so bizarre when someone like Ethan Klein is streaming and he's like he says all of this shit. It's like watching like a fucking sitcom or like some kind of like fucking crazy Korean drama. Like the amount of shit he says that's like
Oh,
fucking
don't get him started on the
genuinely insane.
Koreans.
What does he think about Koreans?
Oh, you should see like those clips of where he's talking about BTS.
Oh no. What did he say about BTS? This is the thing. It's like I like to think I'm pretty normal. Like I have some strong opinions. I'm more left than a lot of people in society. Like I'm a YouTuber, which inherently isn't the most normal thing. But like I think outside of like videos, I'm fucking pretty normal. Like I play games. I see people make Elden Ring videos. I'm like, I'll watch an Elden Ring review. I watched the Elden Ring review. I buy Elden Ring. I play Elden Ring. I go on Discord calls with my friends and I drink alcohol. And then it's like I watch Ethan Klein. It's like this fucking Korean drama I was watching the other day where this woman who was like obese fucking pretends to die and then gets plastic surgery to become super hot to like get back with her boyfriend. And then it turns out that her boyfriend, who was her husband, was the person who ran her off of the road and tried to kill her in the first place. And it's like that's what like the average Ethan Klein stream feels like to me. It's like the most fucking like incoherent storyline possible. Hipster, don't insult my fucking jewelry. What the fuck, dude? The fucking off-white
Jewelry.
bolts are sick, dude. I fucking love them. They're fucking epic, dude. Brits are better than Yanks. Fight me true. The British are the best, dude. I don't even care what anyone says. We're fucking amazing.
Australians are the best. I like Australians the most.
We have no gun crime. Like the only thing America has that Brits don't have is free speech, and they don't even have free speech. Because we have free speech
Well, nobody
technically. We can
truly
say whatever
has-
we want, but it
nobody
doesn't mean you're
truly-
free of consequences.
Nobody truly has free speech.
The Brits
You
are
think
just
about it, man.
Americans, but better because
Because
we have a funny accent, and we have free healthcare.
because we've got the national healthcare.
Knife crime is pretty base, dude.
We've got
I've never
knife
been
crime.
stabbed.
We've got
Well, at
dental
least our
fairies.
schools aren't shooting gallery. Our schools are great. You have terrorism. When? You'll
we've
get like a
got
school shooting every
queues.
week. What do you mean we have terrorism? British
Whatever
queue
you
for me,
want,
like.
you've got to get in a waiting list, and it's wonderful.
Okay,
You got to get in a
okay, we do
queue
queue
for
for everything.
fucking
You're
a
right.
million years.
We do queue for everything. You're right.
Yeah, I mean it's just a British thing. Yeah, it's like
I mean, Harley, did you pay your telly license?
Okay, that's a
TV
good one.
license.
Sorry.
The TV license is pretty funny.
The TV license isn't that bad though. As long as you don't own a TV, you don't have to pay it.
Yeah, isn't there like a loophole where you can just like own a TV and just say like, okay, I don't use it for television, I just own it for like VHS and shit. Like
Monitor.
that. Yeah,
or
exactly. It's a
something.
monitor
Yeah.
to like play other shit on. Yep. I mean
Yeah,
that's
pretty
an
much.
upside. Okay.
Your healthcare is garbage and not free. At least whenever I get in a car accident, I don't have to roll the debate in my head. Do I take the 10K fine or do I just walk it off? Do I walk off the broken leg? Like you guys have to pay to have a child. That's insane to me. You have to pay
Pay to have
give
a
birth.
child. Well, not
Yeah, you have to.
necessarily.
You know,
I mean,
pregnant women have to pay to hold their baby after giving
you-
birth.
well, you can go to and you can not go to a
It's
hospital.
like
You can like,
$500 to hold your
you
baby.
can like get
after
a
you give birth.
midwife
That's
and shit like
hilarious.
that too.
Your healthcare is not actually free. Actually, it is. The NHS is elite. You literally have to pay in taxes.
Freedom ain't
Americans,
free.
dude, this is the funniest thing to me. Americans aren't willing to pay more taxes for free healthcare because they don't want to pay for other people's healthcare. That's so insane to me. It's like Canada did it right. You pay through taxes. It isn't
Oh
free.
my god, my emulator is dying. What the
Howdy.
fuck?
Howdy,
Hey,
is that
Zip
zip zap?
Zip-zap, you
Yeah.
cast a fucking curse on my game. I
zabbity
can't
zabby.
like. I have like 0
You have to
frames
pay for
now.
people who don't.
Your
take
emulator
shots.
sensed that a
Hell.
woman was near.
You don't have
Yeah,
freedom of speech.
exactly.
America doesn't have
What do
freedom
you
of speech
mean?
either.
What do you mean?
I think I said it pretty clearly, but it's okay. You're a woman. One ear out the other. It's okay.
No, I'm talking to Harley. What
Oh.
do you mean? Like, what are you saying?
What about
Listen,
healthcare?
Americans don't have free speech. Really.
Americans.
How?
Like, you guys
Compared
technically
to,
have a
like,
human right to freedom of speech,
UK?
but so does everyone. We have freedom of speech, but freedom of
What do
speech
you
isn't the
mean?
same thing as freedom from consequences. Like, just in America, you can say whatever the fuck you want. In the UK, you can
Yeah.
say whatever the fuck you want. But if someone doesn't like that, they have the right to, like, they can kick you out of their business or whatever. So you don't have freedom of speech.
I mean, but like, it's freedom to do whatever you want with your business. Like, if
We
you
have
don't
the
want
exact same
someone to
thing
be
in
like,
the UK, though.
where you like, okay, say someone's like, saying slurs in your store. I mean, you should be allowed to like throw that person out. It's freedom of speech, but it's like,
Also,
you
you
get
guys have
whatever you
legalized
want.
slavery, so
what do you
What?
mean legalize slavery? Like,
Yeah, do you want
you
to talk
guys
about
do have
India,
legal
India?
slavery in prisons.
In prisons.
What?
Oh, that's a prison.
It's
Do
it's
you-
one of the American rights.
Now it is funny that
Constitution.
in California, some of the school desks and shit are actually
the
made by
third entrant.
convicts. That's pretty cool.
In
Yeah,
what
I mean-
in what part of the U.S. can you get arrested for telling a joke?
You can't get arrested for telling a joke in the UK either.
What happened to Count Dankula?
That was okay. That was a different thing.
literally, that
Like,
was.
if-
It was
you-
different.
Ireland, I think.
If you hung a swastika outside of your house, of course you're gonna get arrested. I mean, I don't
Not
think
in
you should
America.
get
Get
arrested for.
arrested for that.
Listen,
Why
I don't
should
think
you
you
get
should have got
arrested for that?
arrested because
Mate,
his
hold
dog
on,
got
hold on.
saluted. But
Making your dog do a Nazi salute is not the same thing as hanging up a
no,
swastika.
totally, I agree. I don't think you should have got arrested. But like, that wasn't the same thing as a joke. It's like a different
That is
thing.
really a
Like,
joke. The point
It was
my wife-
satire, but
my
it wasn't a
wife
joke.
thinks-
There's no
is,
punchline
my
to a
wife
dog
thinks
getting
that my
saluting.
pug is the cutest thing in the world, so I'm gonna teach my dog to do the worst thing. That's literally a joke.
Exactly, dude. Like, you should not be able to like go to jail for that, like at all. Like, I don't really.
mean, I
care what
agree.
People.
And and Canada has a similar issue. There was a comedian that was brought upon a human rights tribunal for a joke.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, their current prime minister. I mean, I think he pretty much fixed that. You know.
Where the joke respecters at now?
Oh, Leo's bad faith. We're discussing fucking
I don't know
Free
why.
speech
I
for
I
Hitler,
just want to
dog.
play a video game. And you
Look,
guys
the
are like,
fact of the
hey, let's talk
matter-
Well,
about
what are you playing,
swastikas. Let's
AC?
talk about
To be fair,
LK. Let's talk
Countdown
about
shouldn't
freedom of
have got
speech.
arrested, but
Like,
The fact
damn,
of the
bro.
matter is
AC,
that
what are you
America
playing?
should nuke every other country.
The fact of the matter is that this mission fucking is such ass. Like, I can't fucking.
but
do it for
also,
shit.
America does have legalized slavery in
Like, they
prison.
just
How?
rape
Fucking
people.
What,
crazy.
the
You keep on
prisons?
saying that, but I want to know, like, what.
You don't
what
know
are you
about
pointing
this?
to?
I'll link
What
it
are
to
you
I'll link,
talking
I'll link you
about?
my
Oh
source.
wait,
Link
there's a
it to
plant.
me.
Where's the plantation at?
Okay.
Come on, because I know I don't own no plantations. I mean, I'm from the South, so.
I said in
Okay.
prison. I
You
said
said
through the
okay.
prison system, America has legalized
Okay,
slavery.
well, if you commit a crime, then you
Wait,
lose your right. That's
wait,
how
wait,
it.
wait.
That's how it
No,
is.
no, Harley. You know they
Okay,
get
how
paid for
so?
that, right? You
No,
know
Well,
they
is
get
it?
paid for no. They get paid in prison to do stuff. They get like paid like
Few
vapes and
cents.
things, like to buy
They get
stuff.
paid a
Like
few cents, like an hour or whatever.
yeah,
But
they do that voluntarily, and sometimes those jobs look good, so they can get like
I'm
a
gonna
lesser
quote this
sentence.
straight from a law article. Once incarcerated, most quote criminals are required to perform mandatory, essentially unpaid labor. While not all prisoners are forced to work, most opt to because they have no other choice. They need to pay no matter how low in order to purchase food, toiletries, and other basic necessities not provided to them. It's like pretty
What
much legalized slavery.
No, it's
No, in
not because
prison
like
you are
It
you're
is.
doing
provided
it
the
like
bare minimum.
Dude,
voluntarily.
if you have to choose between like if you're in prison, you can't leave prison, right? You have to choose
You know they
between like you
feed you
Well,
can't
no, you
afford
away.
probably
food
shouldn't
or
be allowed to leave
No,
prison
no,
if
no,
you got
no.
put
We're
in prison in the
talking about
first place.
different types of foods, like snacks. They're not like talking about like actual prison food because they do have to feed their prisoners.
You're
They have
also
to feed them
using
work
one.
food.
Okay, let's
You're
continue
also
reading.
using one article as an
In
example to
places like
determine your whole
Texas,
entire
okay,
opinion.
no, this is a law documentation. In places like Texas, however, prison work is mandatory and unpaid. Like that's just slavery, dude.
Texas
why-
is its own
okay,
place.
well-
That's
Okay, well then
slavery,
on
dude.
top
It's
of that,
slavery.
all right.
I don't
So
know. I don't feel bad if the
slavery
rapist has to be a
implies that
slave.
people are being sold
Okay,
off
well,
against their
rapists and like
will.
drug
If you fucking
addicts are
commit a
different things.
crime and are put in prison, you had the right to not commit that crime and be put
Bro,
in
if you
prison.
smoke pot and then you get arrested for it, I don't think you should lose your rights and be a slave. Like
I don't
Dude.
think so either. But if you know that the law is to not smoke pot, maybe you shouldn't have gotten caught.
that's stupid. I don't think legalized slavery is a good thing.
Like I shouldn't run red lights, but sometimes I do. And if I gotta take it for it, that's on me. I'm not gonna be like, oh fuck the system for giving me a ticket for
Also,
running a
there's
red
like
light.
different places in the U.S. that like pot is legalized. So I mean, that's just like,
It's
I
not
mean,
Texas,
it's getting
right?
better. I'm pretty sure it's legalized in Texas. I'm not sure.
I think it's medically legalized.
Dude, I'm
in
just
Texas.
gonna be
It's
honest
being
with you. People smoke it
decriminalized
either
nationally.
way. People smoke it either way if
No,
it's
weed
like
isn't legal in
legalized or not.
Texas. But that's the point I'm making. Like it's legalized slavery, dude. If you smoke pot and get caught, you have to do slave
Okay,
work.
but you're using an
Wait,
example. You're
wait,
using a very
let me-
specific example. Not
no,
every single person that is in prison
You know, you
is
can
in
pay a
prison
fine,
for
right?
smoking
No,
pot.
totally. But we're also going by like think about how much the drug habit and the wretched drug problem is. How many people that affects? How many people got arrested because of like drug use?
Okay,
Now
what
those
I'm saying
people are
is you cannot
slaves,
use
dude. It's slavery. Like
No, you
regardless of what you think,
cannot
like if
use
it's a
one.
rapist,
You
I don't
cannot use
care. But
one crime. You cannot use one crime to determine the entire legal system. First of all, second of all, again, like I said, if you know something is illegal and you get caught doing that, that's on you. It's not
Dude,
like
I
people are
just think
blindsided.
maybe this is
And
a
it's not
hot
like those
take. I
people are
just think
blindsided. They're
slavery
not like,
bad.
I had no clue that smoking weed was illegal. You knew it was illegal. You got caught.
Well,
But-
also
but
too,
I
there's
just
severity.
think
Like
slavery bad.
there's severity to
Slavery
crimes
is bad.
too.
Guess
Like
what? These people, you want to know the difference? All right, because you want to know the difference between the slaves, actual fucking slaves, is they didn't have a choice. They didn't have, oh shit, I got caught by white people when I knew I was going to get caught by white people. I guess I'm a slave now. These people knew smoking weed was illegal. Actual slavery, are those people literally had no choice in the matter. When you're fucking
Forced
caught
into
doing
it.
something illegal, you had a choice to not do the thing that you got arrested for. No one forced that upon you, unless you can prove otherwise that someone forced that upon you. No one
Man.
forced upon you to do the action that got you in trouble. Actual slavery, since you want to use the word actual slavery,
Dude, it's
actual
slavery.
slavery, you do not have a choice in any say of the
Unpaid
matter.
forced labor isn't a choice. In
There is
Texas, you're
something I
forced
do
to do
want to
it.
say though.
No,
No,
you're
no.
not. You're
In
only
Texas,
forced to go to jail if you do something illegal. Therefore, you had the
but
free
we're
will to
going.
not do
Okay,
something
dude,
illegal.
if we're going by, so in 2019, out of 10 million total arrests in America, 1.5 million of them were drug arrests. Dude,
Okay,
like
what
that's
percentage
Wait,
of
wait,
that was
is
from?
that just
Oh,
counting like
oh, oh,
pot?
what
Like,
percentage of that was from smoking weed? Because there's
one
plenty
third
of
of that
drugs on
was
the
one
street.
third of that was weed. 500,000 people,
Okay, so what?
and
5%?
500,000 of those 500,395 of those were marijuana possession arrests.
And this
Dude,
is out of how many
that's
arrests?
insane.
Wait, out of
That's
this
out
is
of
out of
10
how many
million
arrests?
total. Out of 10 million
So
total.
5% of arrests. So using 5%. So you're using a 5% of people to determine the entire legal
Quite a
system?
large
That sounds
margin.
reasonable to me.
My point is, I
No,
think
that's not even a
slavery.
majority.
Hot
That's not
take.
even a minor
Hot
majority.
take. Slavery bad. Maybe I
Slavery
know that's
slavery is
pretty
bad.
crazy.
But guess what?
Slavery
Guess what?
bad.
Guess what? I don't think you'll ever find anyone saying that slavery isn't bad. I mean, fringe people. But you won't find
What
me
you
saying
debating
slavery is
this?
bad.
It's slavery. The prison system in America is slavery. Like it is,
You're literally
especially
okay.
in Texas, at least.
okay,
That's
well,
Okay.
slavery.
there's
You
something to
literally
say.
okay, so are you gonna tell me? Are you telling me right now, live, you are equating to people who literally had no choice to become slaves are the same as people who had a choice to do something that wouldn't get them arrested? Are you equating those things
I
right?
think legalized slavery and illegal
Epstein
slavery are
on
different things.
stream.
But
No. Slavery is slavery. They're not different things.
I don't think there's
Slavery,
one
you have a
line. I
choice.
don't think there's like a line in the sand that's like this is slavery, this isn't slavery. I think
I,
if
I
someone
would
is forced to do something
I think if
against.
you go to anyone that has a relative that was enslaved, I think they
Slaves.
might tell you something different.
Dude, if you are forced to do something against your free will, you
Did
are a
someone force
slave.
that person to get arrested, or did they do something that got them arrested?
Wait,
Oh, how does that matter? If you lose your human
What do
rights
you
the
mean? How
second you
does
get
that matter?
arrested,
If
if you lose,
I am
dude, it's
in
still
no
legalized slavery.
position,
It's still legalized
I am in
slavery.
no position to be put in forced slavery because I'm
Look,
not doing anything that's gonna get me arrested.
look, Harley. Mike is a Latino. They were enslaving Indians and blacks way before the whites were. So if anybody knows anything about slavery, it's Mike the Bike. Okay.
well, hey, I have a
Exactly.
question. There's a thing
I mean, no,
there that you
it's quite
said
literally
when
defined as legal
when you're
slavery.
forced to do something against your will is slavery. Wouldn't that also like include like parents and their children if the children have
If
to,
you're
like,
forced
work?
if you're forced to do free labor against your will, or otherwise you face consequence,
That's forced
you're a
labor.
slave. Like let's
Well,
go
it's
by
forced
definition
slavery.
of slavery. Slavery definition. Slavery is defined by the condition in which one person is owned as property by another and is under the owner's control, especially in involuntary servitude. That's like, dude, it's
So
slavery.
that is
If you
so
are
when you are
forced to
put
do
in jail, you are
labor,
not owned. You're not owned by the jailers. You're
you
being
kind of
punished
are
for a
though.
crime. No,
If you're told you're not
kinda.
allowed to
Whoa,
leave and you
whoa, whoa.
have to remain,
No, they
You
can
wanted
like
to
dude, you're
look.
like
use
a
the word
You wanted
hamster
to
in
look up
slave.
the
prison. They're like, this
definition.
is your
You
room,
wanted to look
this
up
is
the
your place you
definition.
can go.
You wanted to look up the definition. The definition doesn't
Mhm.
align with you, so you have to
It does
resort to saying,
align with
well,
me.
it kind of lines up with what I'm saying, even though it doesn't.
No, it completely lines up with what I'm saying.
No. It doesn't because you are not owned by those people.
Yes, you are, dude.
No, you're
If you aren't
not.
allowed to leave, you are owned by them. They decide what you wear, where you go, when you eat, where you live, where you sleep. You are owned by them.
Okay, so
Dude,
what should we do?
if you tell me if you are in control of where I sleep, where I live, what I own, what I eat, what I do, where I work, I am owned by you. That's
Right.
how
Did
that's what ownership is, yeah?
ownership? Okay? Look up ownership because I'm pretty sure a purchase is involved in ownership.
I don't think so. A group that owns something, the state of being an owner, the right by which a thing belongs specifically to some person or body, proprietorship, possession as an owner or proprietor, the state of being an owner, the right to own, exclusive right to possession, legal or just claim to title. So no, there's no relation to like financial gain. Like if you own something, like I don't have to buy something to own it, right? If I find something that no one else owns and I collect that and it becomes one of my possessions, I own it. Or if I create something, I own it. If I'm in control of everything something does, I own it. Of what's done with it,
Technically,
for example.
if you create something, you don't own it unless you go through the proper steps to own it,
I suppose,
which
but
is
you know what I mean. And it's
No, I
I
know
think
what you
it's
mean. I
the
just want to be
13th
clear about
convention.
that.
The 13th Amendment is the big thing, right? That's why people where is it? I mean, it's part of the 13th Amendment, which is why people have so many issues with like it's literally legalized slavery. Because
You
the
know they
13th
don't have
Amendment
to work, right? Or they just get to like sent to like
in
solitary
Texas they do.
confinement. No, they just lose privileges in jail. That's literally what happens. I looked it up right now. You can look it up on stream. It's already been
Okay,
looked up.
that sounds pretty bad to me.
I mean, but still,
Okay,
like
but
If you are
definition
punished
don't-
for not doing okay, if you are punished for not doing as an owner tells you, you're a slave.
Okay, but that's still the crux of the argument at the end of the day is that you are comparing like the problem with that I have with your use of the word slavery is that there are people that are actually related to slaves that would look at I feel like if they heard what you were saying, they would think you're insane because
This is a Harley W.
oh, it very clearly is when you're comparing people who had literally no choice to people who committed a crime, got arrested, and are paying what they
I would
like.
just say
Like
it's very
if
harsh
you live in
punishment.
Texas, if you live in Texas, then you should know what is illegal. You should know what you have to do once you get caught,
Okay,
and that's what you sign up to by doing
can
the
I
illegal
read you the
action.
13th Amendment? Because the 13th Amendment actually agrees with me.
Oh my
Neither
god, he
slavery
sees
nor
cars doing a funny
involuntary
thing, guys.
servitude. Ignore the cars. The cars don't matter. This is a quote from the 13th Amendment. This is the 13th Amendment, okay? Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Bro, like literally the
Okay,
except in the
Harley,
13th
I have to ask
Amendment.
you a question. I have to ask you a question. How long has that amendment been around?
The 13th Amendment started in 1865.
You don't think
But it's
you
a slavery
honestly
loophole.
no oh, no listen to me. Honestly, you're gonna mean to tell me in the last 170 years, you don't think anyone has tried to take to court what happens in the jail system?
But it's still slavery. It's still legalized slavery. Like it
It's
quite
no,
literally says in the 13th
wait.
Amendment.
If people agreed with you if people agreed with you that it's slavery, why wouldn't they take this to court? The amendments that it's
People
happened
probably
many
have.
times
You can't.
where
How do you sue the 13th
Dude,
Amendment?
you
How
don't
do you?
are you okay, you're
dude,
being an
Americans
idiot.
are
How do
like
you
I'm not
sue?
saying
crazy.
Wait,
you
What
how
do
do
use
you
the
you
think
13th
what?
sue
Amendment.
over?
I'm gonna
Do you
sue
think
No,
the
you
13th
Do you
Americans
know what the
what,
Amendment.
Supreme
bro? You
Court, the
think they
function
what?
of that is? You understand?
you
Like,
Like,
you
dude, it's
What I'm
you've just
saying
got.
is, what I'm saying is, you can use the amendments that we have to fight the legal system to get a W on the legal system. You can use the
Definitely.
13th Amendment.
Okay,
You can use the 13th
you can
Amendment
argue
as your argument.
and
limitations
to
of the
what
amendments.
success
Yeah,
has that
yourself.
happened? What about the Second Amendment?
There
It's
are
like,
multiple
yeah, bro, people
examples where
died to
people have
guns,
used.
but like that doesn't mean the Second Amendment disappeared. It's like
Do you not know
quite.
how many? Do you not wait? Do you not know how many publications have used the First Amendment to fight against the legal system? That
I
happens
mean,
all
you
the
can, yeah,
time.
sure. But I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
the
So why
amendment
hasn't
hasn't just
anyone?
disappeared.
So why hasn't anyone used the 13th Amendment to fight the Texas
I
legal
don't know, but it
system?
doesn't change my point. Quite literally,
No,
it
it
says in
literally
the
does
13th Amendment.
because obviously if someone took it to court and they lost on that, then that means more than whatever you're saying. And at the end of the day, regardless of whether you want to call it slavery or not, these people still committed the crimes they committed, knowing what
I
state
think
they're
that's
in,
nice.
knowing
Yes.
what the laws are, they still
Do you
committed the
think it's
crimes they
acceptable to
committed.
make war criminals slaves?
I'm sorry?
No.
Do you think it's acceptable to make war criminals slaves?
What do you mean by war criminal?
Someone who's arrested after
Violations
surrendering
of the
during a
Geneva
conflict,
Convention.
pretty much. Because like
Well,
I would
if you're a
say
war
it is
criminal, you should probably
unacceptable.
be killed. But
I would say this is the one thing Americans love to defend this, but like quite literally the 13th Amendment in no uncertain terms says slavery is legal as a punishment. Like it's perfectly legal as a punishment for a crime, as it says in the 13th Amendment, and that is exactly how it acts today in places like Texas, where you are forced to work, not even for pay. Like you are forced to do free labor. Like
the
it is
problem,
in no uncertain
but at
terms
the crux,
slavery.
at the crux of your argument, you're defending people who did know what they were doing was wrong and got arrested for it. So
Also, they
how
don't
is
get
No, I think
arrested right
regardless,
away. They either
I
have to
don't
pay a
think just because
fine
I don't think just because you're
or
a criminal, it's okay for you to be a slave.
I
Like
think
I
if you
don't
know
think, oh,
what
this person
I think
committed a
if you
crime,
know
slave
what
time.
I think if you know what the consequences of your action are and you do what you do anyways, then you get what's coming to you.
Same.
I think it's morally wrong to enslave people. Sorry for the hot takes, guys. I think slavery is bad.
Oh, you might
Like,
want to clarify that. That's
also-
legal slavery because I know you could just say, you could get the moral upstanding by saying, "I'm sorry, guys. I think slavery is bad." Yeah, no shit. Everyone thinks slavery is
I
bad.
think legal
But
slavery is
we're
bad, guys.
considering, I don't think legal slavery is just fucking fluff words.
Wait, do you think legal slavery is good?
I don't think it's slavery.
Uh, okay, buddy. Okay.
That's literally
What?
what this whole conversation has been about. I don't think it's slavery when you have the choice to not be in the situation that you're in.
You don't think that being forced to do something against your consent is wrong? Like
No,
Texas
it's not that
literally
it's
says you're.
wrong.
I
Yeah,
don't think.
but it
I don't
sounds-
think. Yes, I agree. Being forced to do something against your
This is
consent
why
is
I
Well,
wrong.
hang on.
I
I
don't
want to.
think-
Americans are all
Guys,
crazy,
I
dude.
want to hear Harley. What would you do to reform the prison system? What is your plan, Harley?